Welcome, Sagittarius. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your full moon in Libra reading, which will occur on April 1st, April Fool's Day, throwing a little bit of trickster energy, subversion energy into our efforts to resist perfectionism, to facilitate the rising goddess energy as the seasons shift with the recent spring equinox, and some of that holy anger that we try to use bravely, strategically, so that we do not become sapped with vengefulness or rage. So this is the energy archaeology card that I pulled for you, the Catalyst card. And the floating ribs are the part of the skeleton that it is using to describe this energy. I'm going to read from the Wisdom Guide, the Oracle Guide, and I have called out the imbalance keywords as most significant in their precipitous and beginning. And from the wisdom reads, some catalysts increase the speed at which something happens, but don't initiate anything that won't have otherwise occurred on its own. You meet these catalysts every day, the synchronicities and mirrors that amplify energies you are already aware of. Other catalysts precipitate something entirely new. You need them to create the spark of energy that shifts everything. These often feel like a break, a rupture, or a new trajectory. They put you on a path you never saw coming, or bring someone or something to you that is entirely foreign, but also entirely necessary. Meet catalysts with kindness. They're messengers here to wake you up, to release the protection you've built around yourself and your vulnerability, to flow out the old stagnant energy, to make room for the depth and breadth of human emotion. Remember, though, a catalyst will initiate change, but you must also nurture your capacity to sustain it. This is incredible and is really shining a spotlight on the area of your chart, particularly those of you that are Sagittarius rising, like myself, that are looking at social change, global change, alignments with on the basis of humanitarian goals, even political, spiritual goals. And this is coupled with the grief card. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. And I challenge you to find a loss in your life. Many of you have had several losses, perhaps over the last couple of years. Even if they were expected losses, they have shifted and opened up something for you. I do believe that there is a way in which many of these have signified a rupture, a break, a release that has been a long time coming. And there's something perhaps that you've unconsciously held on to that you're now in a position to let go of, to surrender, despite whatever pain was a part of that holding on to. So in the 10th house, I almost forgot the overall theme for the reading. The 10 of Pentacles is really about legacy. I almost feel like you are prepared. You are suddenly sprinting towards a legacy, building up something that will mark your presence on earth, contributing to something that generates abundance and helps others to maximize that abundant generation. So you have recognized your tremendous privilege and gifts in the world and are in a position to share that with others, to support others to find a similar or even a different pathway to the kind of resources you've been able to secure. In the 10th house, the Page of Cups, and this is what everyone sees. The midheaven is where we are a part of a community, the way others see us. And how interesting that others may see us as this very tender and gentle, very creative and highly imaginative energy. This is a quality you bring that is entirely unexpected, I think, for many of you, because of some of the hardening you may have experienced over the last couple of decades at least, with Pluto passing through Capricorn. You have experienced some extreme hardship or loss that has developed within you some super resilience, a kind of impermeability, like super toughness. And so, what others are surprised at is that core of you that is relatively unchanged. This core that you brought with you into the world, a gift, an ability to see, dream, imagine, create the drop of a dime. And it's a beautiful quality that you've never relinquished or allowed to be extinguished. This makes me feel as though you are experiencing some kind of emotional renewal. And when you think that Jupiter has recently gone direct in Cancer, it makes sense that you are blossoming. Your emotional intelligence is blossoming. This ability to lean into your feelings, to use your feelings to validate your path, your challenges, to direct you appropriately where you need to go. And this creative spirit is experiencing some kind of, again, a renewal. In the first house, your attitude, your mundane approach, your mindset to everyday challenges, the Star card, and couldn't be more beautiful, given this desire for legacy, to build something around your dreams. And this sophisticated awareness and ability to understand how to structure your dreams, your goals, your desires is part of what has actually grown your visions of abundance, community, global well-being in some way, rather than what you might have feared in the past, that structuring, naming it, identifying it, forming it would somehow diminish it. So your vision, your aspirations for world peace or abundance are stronger than ever, as you feel you've gained the skills to actually bring it to a success. In the fourth house, the house of your foundation, your home, the Queen of Cups, the lovely Queen of Cups. And this really does mirror this outer experience to the world, but your ability to tend to nurture, care for, honor, and respect your own desires, even as far as claiming them, naming it, calling them out, speaking them into existence, has so carefully been nurtured by you, with this acknowledgement that there was really fear there. There was really a fear of naming those desires, perhaps with those relationships that have been lost. And this can include those that have passed over. For some of you, that includes an ex-partner, a spouse, an old romantic partner, or even business partner with whom you shared a unique bond, that grief was in part inspired by the inability, the fear of naming or claiming what you desired within that relationship. But this now feels as though you've been released from that fear, And you're learning to do that for yourself. In the 7th house of significant others, the 6 of Swords names this tremendous difficulty we've had in pulling ourselves away from the hard stuff, pulling ourselves away, separating ourselves from what others thought, what others wanted, what others expected, and how incredibly difficult that has been and still is for many of you. So that you are really having to alter, change, or limit what were once fundamental intimacies in your life, those you just knew you could trust, and you've come to realize that there is an absence of reciprocity in those relationships. And in fact, there may have always been an absence of reciprocity. And seeing how you authored that is part of what you are endeavoring to change. Recognizing when something isn't working for you and allowing it to not work for you, not be for you, not be a part of you, not a part of your life, without stopping the love, which is a non sequitur. One has little to do with the other, but you can love and let go. And in so doing, create a better service to former partners, family members, or colleagues who you recognize you've moved beyond. And instead, you are learning the lessons of those relationships in a way that is powering this lunge forward towards some kind of an abundance, some kind of prosperity or wealth. Sagittarius, if this reading is resonating for you, please like this video, please share this with others, and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. I appreciate so much love that I'm receiving from all or any of you, and want you to know that I respect and honor whatever way that you support me, in whatever way that is. Your presence being first and foremost for me. So thank you in advance for that. And for the Star card, I'm going to clarify with the Sun card. For the Queen of Cups, I'm going to clarify with the Chariot. For the Six of Swords with the Fool, and it's a daisy. Okay, too many. For the Page of Cups, out drops the Five of Pentacles. This is so perfect. So, okay, just as I name perfectionism as one of the things we all must struggle with, I too struggle with being perfect, wanting things to be just right. So the Star card is clarified by the Sun, and these two together, this is long-term, gratifying, fulfilling vision that gives you, that makes you happy. It doesn't just make you happy. You understand that this is, at least in your vision, a way of providing some real contentment and fulfillment for others. The Sun literally grows our food. The Sun literally gives us nourishment, allows us to grow, promotes and facilitates growth, abundance. So together, these are really speaking to your spiritual status right now. This almost like a destined link between your spiritual path, your growing aspiration and empowered vision, with this understanding that this makes you individually pleased, happy, fulfilled in a way that models so for others. So whatever you're doing to structure your dream, to grow your dreams, to manifest them, to speak to them, is providing you and others with a lot of fulfillment. It's almost as though You are a voice to the voiceless. In the fourth house, the Queen of Cups is clarified by the Chariot. And this again really reminds me of your ruling planet Jupiter, again in the house of the home, the natural house of Cancer, its sign moving direct. This is where you have clearly set firm limits to others' access to you in order to do this healing work, this loving work, this respecting work, to understand, to figure out what it is you want has taken in and of itself some time for many of you. And then to actually honor that every day, to understand how important it is to embody what you love and what you desire. This is simply powering you, focusing you clearly towards your goals in a way that indicates real success. You understand you're not here to be like other people. You're here to be who you are. You have specific gifts that are only relevant to your journey. And this is really honoring that. That you're here for a certain purpose and that you are fully capable and equipped to do that. This can have some bearing upon your physical home, perhaps where you live, preparing for some kind of travel. It does feel like travel is business related in as much as it fuels your vision. It gives you information that you need or you desire for understanding alternatives to the way you've always done things, and awareness that well-being for others requires some learning on your part. In the seventh house, the Six of Swords and the Fool. This really does hit, for me, the rising of this divine feminine energy, sort of slanted towards the trickster energy, the subversion of that. And I would ask you to look at your relationships, your relationship history, and how you have subverted any traditional or normative ideas about what you as an individual were supposed to do, were supposed to accomplish or achieve, and ways in which you apparently have slipped in and out of that for much of your life. The Sages I'm speaking to have been as independent within and outside of relationships as they've been on their own. You may identify as a solopreneur or a bachelor, or despite your relationship status. This is really holding to what you've learned from those relationships that has made you stronger, made you wiser, recognizing the greater ability, the freedom, the integrity that you're able to hold on to as part of your vision, that isn't always so easy when you're in perhaps a conventional relationship, or when you have identified yourself as part of a couple. And in the 10th house, the Page of Cups is clarified by the Five of Pentacles. And this is really about, again, leaning into whatever your economic status was, perhaps early in life, kind of the lane, the class you were born into, understanding underneath that the wealth and abundance you experience, the emotional abundance and joy, the ability to share and to reciprocate with others based on limited resources or limited opportunities. And yet this again reflects upon the unbridled opportunities you are now experiencing for not only gaining a sense of material prosperity, but ways in which you can leverage that with and for others. as a part of your legacy, something you are able to bring forward from to and for others as an act of love, as an act of giving. I'm going to finish this reading, Sagittarius, with a flower oracle. And what pops out is the Heliacon and the key Heliconia. And the key word is realization. The answer is here. Take heed. For many of you, there is a particular ancestor who has stepped forward recently in your meditations and your dreams, and that ancestor has surprising, unexpected news of some kind of inherited abundance, some kind of emotional wealth that you're able to utilize, and that is fueling your somewhat rapid move towards this financial, economic abundance or prosperity. Thank you so much, Sagittarius, for this beautiful reading. Until next time, namaste.